In this week's Jaunts with John T, we visit the cute western town of Sisters, Oregon. We had passed through Sisters before and weren't really impressed, but for this trip we took the time to check out the local shops, try some of the local restaurants, and really explore the natural beauty of the surrounding area. So, was it better than we remembered? Howdy, and welcome to Jaunts with John T. I am John T, and this week we are in Sisters, Oregon. Now, we had been to Sisters earlier. I'll post a link to that video below. And frankly, we weren't really that impressed with the town, to be honest. This time we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of just hanging out within the town here, we're spending a little more time here this time than we did before. And instead of just hanging out here or passing through like we did before, we are going to be going to a couple of different restaurants, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But mostly, we are going to go off to a place called Smith Canyon. I think it's called Smith Canyon. If I got the name wrong, I will put the name down here, but I believe it's Smith Canyon. And it's a bit of a drive. It's about a 40-minute drive, but we're going to go out there, and we've heard it's beautiful, and we're going to go out and check that out. So why don't you join me on this jaunt? For dinner, we are going to the Sisters Saloon and Ranch Grill. This is a Marionberry Lemon Drop Martini. Sounds very interesting.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. With water. That is really good.
Is it?
That is like really good.
Let me try it.
Try it.
Ooh, that's really good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Andy is having a veggie burger with a salad. And I am having a French dip with not clam chowder, not corn chowder, but steelhead trout chowder, which I'm really looking forward to. These are cookies in cast iron skillet with vanilla ice cream, and they are pretty ridiculously delicious. Okay, well, we just had dinner at the Sisters Saloon, and it was pretty good. Andy had a bean burger that she said was okay. I had a beef dip sandwich, which was actually very good, but the winner was the steelhead trout chowder, which was absolutely delicious. I wish I'd gotten more of it. We also had a dessert of these 4 cookies baked in tiny cast iron skillets with ice cream that was ridiculously good. Chewy, warm cookies with ice cream. You can't beat that. So we are done for the evening. We're going to head back to the hotel and hang out for a little while. And that's it for the night. We are at Smith Rock State Park, which is about a 40-minute drive from Sisters, and well, just based on what I can see right now, I would definitely say that it is well worth the 40-minute drive. This is absolutely spectacular. Apparently this spot is very popular with rock climbers, so very often you'll be able to see people climbing up the rocks here. We will not be doing any rock climbing, for the record, but we will be maybe watching other people do rock climbing. So let's see. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little black spot there. It looks like a fly on the wall, and that is someone climbing the rock. Something else I will say about going to Smith Rock is that the drive to Smith Rock from Sisters is beautiful. So it's about like I said, it's about a 40-minute drive, and it is absolutely spectacular. And what's really cool is the drive out there and the drive back. The views that you have are totally different, because going out there you have like views of the desert and the rocks and everything, and on the way back you get views of the mountains, including the Three Sisters, and I think it's Mount Bachelor. So it is worth the drive just for the sights that you see on the drive. reservations at, ooh, very bright sun, at Black Butte Lodge. We wanted to get here early enough to be able to see the sunset behind the mountains, so pretty early dinner reservation. And hopefully the food is good, so let's go check it out. Where we're eating is called the Aspen Lounge. Here's the menu. For starter, we got the Caesar salad. I got sturgeon with potatoes and pork belly. And Andy got the cavatelli
Bon
pasta.
appetit to you too. Thank you so much. Yes,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Sourdough chocolate mousse cake for dessert. This looks, oh wait, I want to take it. Do this. Whoa, look at that. That looks amazing. Well, we just had dinner and it was absolutely delicious. Everything was wonderful. And actually where we went was to a place called The Lodge, which is right behind me here. It was a separate building from the one that I showed you when we were walking in. And I was actually surprised that it was such a new building. I was expecting kind of an old, lodge type of building. And apparently, I asked about it, apparently this was built about 2 years ago. And what happened was the original lodge, the foundation was rotting or moldy or something. And so they had to take down the building and rebuilt it. So they rebuilt it about 2 years ago. And it's this wonderful new modern building, which apparently has been written up in architectural magazines and everything. It's quite spectacular. So if you're visiting the Sisters area and want to have a wonderful meal in a beautiful setting, the view from the windows was spectacular. You should definitely check out Black Butte. We're going to walk around downtown Sisters a little bit before we leave. Now, we came here once before and weren't that impressed with the town. It's very cute, has a very much of an kind of an old west vibe. It's a cute little town, but there's not a lot of stuff here. A couple of restaurants, a couple of shops. But then again, we only stayed here very briefly. We just kind of passed through on the way home from Bend. So we decided to give it another try and check it out again and see what we think. gentleman in that antique store only wanted me to take still photographs and not video because he said that somebody did video inside his store and then basically trash talked the store online. And I'm like, why would you trash talk a store, a little antique store online? Is that how you have your fun? What a silly thing to do. It was a very cute little antique store. But some people just like saying bad things, I guess. This museum is owned by a gentleman named Jim Schmidt, who I was just chatting with. And most of the memorabilia in here are things from his life. He apparently has led quite a life, which he has documented in his book. As you can see here, A Most Improbable Millionaire. And underneath his book is Olaf the Giant. I don't know if you can really see it here with the glare, but this is mummified remains of a 9-foot-tall man that was found in Norway. Which is pretty crazy. And these are all people that he knew. These are chairs that were used by President John Kennedy. And Debbie Reynolds and Cher, apparently he dated Debbie Reynolds for a while. Which is Debbie Reynolds, if you don't know, she's the mother of Carrie Fisher from Star Wars. So that's a poster of his book, The Improbable Millionaire, and I'm out here is a car that he said, where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh my goodness, look at this limousine. That is one stretch limo. Apparently he knew a lot of basketball players, Jim Schmidt did. Oh, here we go. We have an old carriage here. And it's funny, the Jaguar here and the old carriage, just about the same length as this stretch limo here. I think he said, yes, this limousine was used by Bob Hope. Here, let's take a look inside here. The window's open, so I can take a look inside. Wow, look at that. That's going around in style, let me tell you. Okay, if you come to Sisters, you absolutely have to go into the fantastic museum and chat with the proprietor, Jim Schmidt, author of The Most Improbable Millionaire. Such an interesting man, fascinating history. And I'm sure he would love to have the company because he was happy to talk about his life and talk about the things he has in there in his little museum. Definitely worth a few minutes of your time for sure. Here, let's compare. A little bit bigger than my foot. On the way home from Sisters, we decided to go to Suttle Lake and go to the lodge here at Suttle Lake to have some lunch before making the final trek home. This is a trout sandwich that looks, I think they call it trout fish and chip sandwich. It looks awesome. The photo wall of all the dogs that have visited the lodge here. We just had lunch at the Suttle Lodge here on Suttle Lake, and oh my goodness, what a pleasant surprise that was. The food was amazing. I had this trout sandwich, potato chip crusted trout sandwich. Amazing. And Andy had this, I didn't, came later so I didn't get a video of it, but she had this mushroom sandwich that I don't know what they did to prepare those mushrooms, but it was unlike any mushrooms I've ever tasted before. It was amazing. We are definitely going to be coming back to this place. They have a lodge, they have camping, there's a beautiful lake, you can go kayaking on it. This place is awesome. Suttle Lake, about a 10-minute drive outside of, well, about a 15-minute drive, about a 15-minute drive outside of Sisters. Well, that is going to do it for this week's edition of Jaunts with John T. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to give us a like. We really enjoyed Sisters. I have to say that Sisters is definitely, there's definitely more here than we remembered from when we were here before. And like I said before, we really just kind of passed through, but we did walk around the town a little bit. But it's not just the town, and there are some cute shops here and some nice restaurants, but it's not just the town. The whole surrounding area is absolutely stunning. The Black Butte lodge that we went to, wonderful food, fantastic setting. Sisters Saloon was fun, and of course all the little shops around here were terrific. And obviously that little side trip we took off to the Smith Rock was spectacular, or epic, as Charlie said. Well, that is going to do it. Here at Jaunts with John T, we go on jaunts around the world, around the country, around the state, and sometimes just around the house. So if that sounds like fun to you, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because that way you'll be notified of future videos. That's going to do it for now. I am John T, and until I can figure out a better sign off, thanks for watching.